Today is a very exciting day as it's my first collab and it's with the very talented and lovely Klaire De Lys art. To see her stunning demon makeup, you can check out her tutorial linked in my cards and in my description box. It was hard keeping this one a secret from you guys because I was so excited. I found a way to make horns that are super detailed and realistic that also weigh hardly anything and are easy to stick on. I'll demonstrate this ability by headbanging at the end of this video. To make this video not 17 bajillion hours long, I've made the horn fabrication videos separate and I will also link that in my cards and in my description box. To begin, I put prosthetics adhesive on the back of my silicone edge blenders for the horns and on my forehead where I will be placing them. Because I sculpted these on a tile with no reference to my face, these are too big for my forehead, but instead of redoing them, I thought I could show you ways around this problem as FX makeup is 80% knowing how to fix the fuck-ups. Ideally, there would be a nice blended edge all the way around, but because this is too big, it's either going to blend down into my eyebrow or up into my hairline. The hairline is a better option for hiding it. So I cut off the cap plastic border on the top edge and will glue it flush against my hairline. So a messy hairstyle or a fringe could definitely help hide this. Next, I blended out the remaining cap plastic edges with a cotton tip dampened with 99% isopropyl alcohol. Then, before the horns were in and impeding my view, I color matched this to my skin by applying a layer of light mauve skin Illustrator, then Natural 2, Olive Adjuster, and Natural 1. Then I'm going to put some anti-shine on the cap plastic edge as it is shiny, and that is the #1 thing that bugs me about cap plastic, but otherwise it's pretty great. Then I applied adhesive on the bottom of my horns, waited for it to dry, and then pulled up the edges of the inside of the silicone piece to fit the horn in, and push the horn against my adhesived forehead. The next step is coloring around the horns. I like using a lot of pink tones before the blood red, so I went in with Dusty Rose, Dark Mauve, and then the blood tone and Dried Blood Skin Illustrator inks. Then I put some Dusty Rose around the edges just very lightly to make it look more irritated. As a final step, I put a little bit of blood. This is Mold Life's Kensington Gore in Aged because I'm so predictable. Now to make the best of the situation with the edge of the silicone piece, firstly, you can make sure you've blended out as much of that cap plastic as possible. Then to try to visually disguise where that silicone edge ends, you can draw on, very lightly, individual hairs to form a fake hairline that extends slightly onto the silicone. It's not going to look as good as having a well-fitting piece, but it's one way to slightly improve the situation. Now to apply the cheek pieces, these were made in the same way as the silicone edge blenders for the horns, sculpted, clay all around, silicone poured in to make the mold, and then run in cap plastic and then Platsil Gel 10 and Deadener. I'm going to check their positioning on the face, and then apply prosthetics adhesive on the back of this piece and onto my cheeks where they will be sitting, and wait for those both to dry. Being careful to position it along my cheekbones, I press it down from the center, smoothing it outwards into the cap plastic to try and avoid wrinkling it at all. My edges need some more adhesive, so I will apply a little bit more. Then I blend out the cap plastic edges with a cotton tip dampened with isopropyl alcohol again. I use the same colors as with the horns to match my skin color, so that's Dusty Rose, Natural 2, Olive Adjuster, and then Natural 1. Then I applied anti-shine to the edges. Now I'm going in with foundation. I'm going to cover all of the areas of my skin that aren't covered in prosthetics. I'm going to add just a little bit of contouring powder under the cheek prosthetics and under the chin. Then going in with a dark brown eyeshadow, I start to smoke out my eyes, and using a fine detailing brush, I start to draw up smoke trails. I use a small fluffy brush to blend out the areas that have lines that are too intense or too dark. And then I'm going to darken up the outer corner of the upper and bottom lid with some matte black eyeshadow and blend that out too. Next, I'll add some of this black eyeshadow to the smoke trails to darken it up a little bit. And repeat that on the other eye. Then I will curl my lashes and add some mascara to the top and bottom lashes. I'm just going to intensify the smoke a little more out to the sides. I've put in some contact lenses that I got from my optometrist, and I made some teeth for this one, but the process had some hiccups leading to teeth that I didn't really like because they don't quite fit in my mouth right. So I took a couple of photos with them in and then took them right out again. To make my lips inky and black, I'm adding some black makeup and water to smudge it out. So you can use any makeup product that's safe for use on the lips, or you could use something like food coloring too, like a little black food dye, or you could use black icing for this, which I do use also on my teeth in a couple of minutes. Next, I spritz on my finishing spray. I'm using Nye Final Seal. And then I took a couple of picks, and David suggested amping up the detail in the cheek prosthetic by adding a warm toned eyeshadow into those creases. So I did that. I also added in some more pinks from the Sienna Illustrator palette to try to better match my slightly flushed cheeks. This is some black writing icing, and you can add it to your teeth for that inky effect that will last for a couple of photos before being washed off by your saliva. And that is the finished makeup. The cheek prosthetics went 100% how I imagined them looking, but they lend to some interesting angles on the face while shot from underneath. It also kind of gave it a Maleficent vibe. I really like that with these materials you get a makeup that not only looks quite realistic, but that also moves really well with your face, so you're able to emote through it, it lasts longer, and is way more comfortable to wear. I'll show you a movement test. This is at about 5 hours of wear and also about 1 AM in the morning. So you can see the edges are getting a little bit roughed up through all of the emoting and would need a touch up after about 5 hours, but otherwise it lasted really well. I'll also headbang to show you the horn's ability to cling to your face. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to check out Klaire's video and channel. And if you liked this video, please subscribe to my channel and you can see more Halloween madness. See you soon!